Hi, my name is Patrick Burton, and today I will be reading for the part of YouTube instructor. Let's get into it.
That's right, you lot. This one's for my actor friends, but if you're not an actor, don't go anywhere because all of these tips can be applied to any sort of video content, audition or not. Now, some of these tips you might already know, but I'm hoping and I'm betting that at least a couple of them you haven't thought of yet. And the best part of these tips, they're all free. Free as in, yes, obviously I'm giving them to you for free. And also it'll cost you nothing to implement them. That's right, no extra purchasing required. So let's get right into it. 5 tips from somebody who works behind a camera to help you destroy your next smartphone self-tape audition. Tip 1, window light. Yes, this is the one that you probably hear all the time. Window light is better. But why is window light better? Well, science says that the bigger your light source is, the softer and more flattering of a light it's going to cast on your face. So by standing near a window during the daytime, you're essentially using that window as a giant light, thereby making yourself look like a freaking goddess. Now, of course, if you have a budget, you can achieve that window light effect anywhere by using a light with diffusion or a softbox. And there's some great cheap softbox sets that you can get on Amazon for not that much money. But this video is all about leveling up for free. So for your next self-tape, try setting yourself up right next to a window during the daytime, angled about 45 degrees off of your camera. That's right next to your camera. Turn off any other lights that might be hitting your face and be wowed by the results. Tip 2, get your settings right. It might sound obvious, but a lot of people get this one wrong. In fact, I even got it wrong while I was filming the intro to this video. So if your phone videos are looking a little bit pixelated or muddy, it could be because your settings are wrong. So navigate to your camera settings in your smartphone and make sure that you're recording at 1080p or 4K at 24 frames per second. Why 24? Why not 30? Why not 60? Why not 120? Why not 240 frames per second? Well, the higher that your frame rate is, your camera has to increase its shutter speed to compensate. And this applies to all cameras. So that means that your phone is actually capturing a darker picture and then boosting it up artificially, which results in that grainy, muddy, pixelated, unprofessional look. So we don't want that. We want to see your face in as much detail as we possibly can so that we know what it's going to look like when we put it in front of a $650,000 14K Airy Alexa Dragon Max Pro Pikachu edition. Pikachu? That's a real camera. So you want to lower your frame rate to the lowest possible setting while still capturing natural looking movement. And that frame rate is going to be 24 frames per second. So by now you're probably thinking, great going, Patrick. You just wasted 3 minutes of my life telling me stuff that I already know. Well, to that, I counter with tip number 3. Tip 3, back up your tripod and use your portrait lens. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did you? So smartphones are nowadays rolling out with these new multi-faced lenses that people are split right down the middle by. Some people love them, some people are creeped out by them, right? Personally, they remind me of that disturbing image from 15 years ago of that woman who went to Africa and then she came back and she had parasites living in her boob and it looked like a big old honeycomb. Don't worry, it was fake. But also don't look it up because it's really gross. Anyways, brief photography lesson. On any camera, your field of view is defined by your lens's focal length, which is measured in millimeters. So for example, the lenses on the latest iPhone, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, have the equivalent focal lengths of the following. 13 millimeters for that new ultra-wide lens, 26 millimeters for your standard wide lens, that's the one that your camera usually defaults to, and 52 millimeters for the portrait lens, also sometimes called the telephoto lens. It's the zoomed in one. So most of the time, your phone defaults to that 26 millimeter standard wide lens whenever you take a photo or a video. But if you have room, you're actually gonna look a lot better if you back your tripod up and use that 52 millimeter lens instead. Why? Distortion. So in order to get you that wide field of view, your wide-angled lenses are actually distorting your images a little bit, creating that sort of fishbowl effect, which is commonly responsible for giving you a bigger nose and a narrower looking face. That's why you always look thinner in your iPhone and GoPro photos than you do when you look in the mirror. Sorry to break it to you. Now, you might think that this is a desired effect, right? Who doesn't want to look thinner in their photos? But in reality, we humans actually much prefer to see people in their most natural proportions. That's why most portrait photographers and your headshot photographers use lenses with focal lengths between 50 millimeters and 100 millimeters because those lenses make you look the most like you actually look. This is also a great tip if you're trying to find a neutral backdrop, because you can get away with shooting in front of a much smaller space without revealing what's actually behind you. So use that portrait lens, back up that tripod, and if you're thinking, wait a minute, if I back up my tripod, isn't that gonna make me sound further away? Well, have I got a tip number 4 for you. Tip number 4, use an old smartphone or a friend's phone as a lavalier mic. Audio is a whole complex world in itself, but to put it simply, The closer your mic can be to your mouth, the better you're gonna sound. The ideal solution here would be to use a real lavalier mic, and fortunately technology is advanced enough that you can buy a great lavalier mic, one that I actually use for a lot of my videos, from Amazon for less than $20. But again, we're looking for free solutions here. Most people though, or at least most of the people that I know, have an old smartphone laying around. And the great news is that most smartphones, even smartphones from a few generations back, their mics sound pretty damn good if you hold them close enough to your mouth. If you don't have an old smartphone, borrow one from a friend or a family member. This tip works best if you have a shirt with a front pocket that you can wear for your auditions, because then you can just slide your smartphone right into the front pocket, and then it's the perfect distance from your mouth, and you can still kind of hide it out of the frame if you need to. If not, you can stick it on a stand or a table near you, you can tape it to yourself, Velcro it, hang it above your head. Get creative, I don't care. As long as the phone is less than 3 feet away from your mouth, you should notice a big jump in your audio quality. For example,
Hi, my name is Patrick Burton, and today I will be reading for the part of YouTube instructor. Hi, my name is Patrick Burton, and today I will be reading for the part of YouTube instructor.
now this does mean that you're gonna have to take an extra step and sync up your audio in an editing software, which you can do quite easily by hand in software like iMovie. But you can do it even easier if you use this amazing free post-production software called DaVinci Resolve. Yes, this is the same DaVinci Resolve that professionals use to edit and color grade larger scale productions, myself included. And yes, it is 100% free. Well, you do have the option to pay to unlock a lot of the studio features, but for basic and even some advanced editing, the free version is more than sufficient. Now this is already a pretty long video, and there's already some great video guides on how to sync audio in DaVinci Resolve. But if you just can't get enough of me in my face and you want me to teach you how to do it, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe that'll be my next video. All right, you guys, this is the last tip, and hopefully this is the one that's gonna really blow your mind, because I haven't heard this one anywhere else. Now this is probably the most helpful tip, but on the downside, it only works if you have a smartwatch. The Apple Watch and most Android watches come installed with a very underappreciated app, the camera app, which essentially turns your watch into a remote trigger and monitor for your camera's phone, for your So that means you can set up your tripod, go stand in place, frame yourself up, and hit record all from your watch, saving you time and giving you that peace of mind that you're not gonna record your whole scene, go check it, and be devastated to learn that you were standing halfway out of frame the whole time. So if you don't have a smartwatch, there's a number of other ways to speed up your setup. You can use spike marks. You can make a life-size stand-in dummy with whatever you have lying around the house. You could put an angled mirror behind your phone screen. Or speaking of mirrors, you could mirror your phone screen to a laptop using a paid app. Or you could just do it the old-fashioned way and ask a friend to help you. But the smartwatch hack is so clutch and so helpful that I think it's worth mentioning, even though it's technically not free unless you already own a smartwatch. All right. Those are my tips, and remember, they don't just apply to self-tape auditions. You can use these tips to help you shoot any type of smartphone content that your heart desires. Whether it's scripted comedy, or rants about how the world isn't the way that it should be, or tutorial videos for YouTube. All of these 100% free tips are gonna help you boost the quality of your smartphone videos, audition or not. If this video helped you or could help somebody that you love, please share it. And if you made your own content using any of these tips, I'd love to see it. Please let me know down below. Stay safe out there. Don't panic. I'll see you in the next one. P-Diddle out.